let's talk about absolute value. So absolute value, when we use and put an absolute value on a number, what we are trying to do is we want to make that number non-negative. So this is the definition, the absolute value of x, just like two long bars wrapping up the x. So the absolute value of x is equals to x, a positive x, first line, if x is greater than or equal to 0. Absolute value of x is equals to negative x if x is less than 0. So simply speaking, the absolute value of positive is positive, the absolute value of 0 is 0, the absolute value of negative is positive. So let me give you three simple examples. The absolute value of a positive 20 is equals to 20. So that doesn't affect the 20 at all. The absolute value of 0 is equals to 0. The absolute value of negative 9 is equals to positive 9. So since negative 9 is negative, if you put an absolute value on the negative number, you are making that number positive. So let's say if you have absolute value of negative 1000, that equals to positive 1000. So let's take a look at the definition I gave you. So let's say I have x equals to 5. So x equals to 5, I know that 5 is greater than or equal to 0. So therefore, the absolute value of 5 is equals to 5. All right. And then what about the second line, the one in yellow? The absolute value of x is equals to negative x if x is less than 0. So let's say we have x equals to negative 5, that is less than 0, that x is less than 0. So you have absolute value of negative 5. So this one, the negative sign is there, right? So look at the yellow line. Do you see that there is a negative symbol in front of the x? So you have to put that negative symbol first. And then what is x equals to? X is equals to negative 5. So negative, negative, that becomes positive. So that's how you play absolute value. So when you see a negative number, you put an absolute value on it, that becomes positive immediately. For positive and 0, the negative value doesn't affect them. Okay, so what about equation? So if you look to the right, we have absolute value of x minus m equals to d. X is a variable, m is a number, d is a number, or you can say they are a constant value. Constant value means a number that never change. Let's say 5. 5 is a constant because 5 is always 5. 5 is not changing. Negative 5 or negative 6, they are constant because negative 6 is always negative 6. Negative 6 is not changing at all. X is a variable because x changes. So we have absolute value of x minus m equals to d, that equals to 2 lines. So it looks like we are trying to break one equation down into two equations. The first equation is x minus m equals to d, so you just remove the absolute value. The second line, the line in yellow, x minus m equals to negative d, so you have to remove the absolute value and then change the d to be a negative d. So let me just give you two examples to practice this a little bit. So let's say, let's use another color. So let's say we have absolute value of x minus 3 equals to 5. So you have to break this down into two equations. The first one is x minus 3 equals to 5. You just remove the absolute value. The second one is x minus 3 equals to negative 5. And then you solve them. So x minus 3 equals to 5. So that is x equals to 5 plus 3, right? So you move the minus to the other side. The minus becomes a plus. 5 plus 3 is equals to 8. X minus 3 equals to negative 5. So x is equals to negative 5 plus 3. That is equals to negative 2. All right, and then how do you graph the solution? The graph is very simple. Remember this is called a real number line. So real number line. So still remember this, we have 0 in the origin, 0 is right in the middle, and then we have positive numbers on the right and negative number on the left. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to extend the line a little bit. 7, and then 8, and then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, so on and so forth. So we have 8, then we put a dot on 8, and then we put a dot on negative 2. Okay, so that's how you graph this. All right, so that's the first one. Let's do one more. So let's do one more in another color. So let's say we have x plus 4. X plus 4 in absolute value is equals to 10. So that breaks down into two equations. X plus 4 is equals to 10. So 10 minus 4, x is equals to 6. And then the other equation is x plus 4 is equals to negative 10, and then x is equals to negative 10 minus 4, that is equals to negative 14, right? So when you do this on paper, you can just make the number line simple. You don't have to write every single number out. So if I am doing this on my paper, I will just do this. I will put a 0 right in the middle, and then this will be a 6. This will be a negative 14. I'm going to skip writing other numbers. I will just give myself a reasonable scale. So that is a negative 14, 6. Reasonable scale means you space out the number using a reasonable scale. Right, so that is the introduction to absolute value and absolute value equation. That is the end of this video. In the next video, I will solve a couple more equations for you. If you think my instruction is helpful, let me know in the comment below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And see you all in the next one. Signing out for now.